In southern Africa, there are rumours of a deadly fish. It lurks unseen in the eerie waters of the Okavango Delta.
There are large animals under the water making these really shake.
A killer with shark-like teeth. There are stories of it hunting in packs.
They are killing machines.
Feeding in frenzies on schooling fish.
This is just incredible.
And even on drowning humans.
It's the most brutal thing you'll ever witness.
It sounds like the work of giant South American piranhas. But there's nothing like that here in Africa. Or is there? My name is Jeremy Wade.
Fish on!
And my mission is to enter this mysterious world, to track down and catch this murderous river monster.
I recently heard a story about a small ferry that overturned on a river in southern Africa.
The boat was old and overloaded with cargo and passengers. When it started taking in water, the children panicked and the boat flipped. Apparently there were no survivors, and rumours circulated that the victims didn't just drown, they were attacked.
When the bodies were recovered, they were found to be partially eaten. People at the time said that the victims had been eaten by fish.
Official accounts, however, said it couldn't have been fish. Larger predators must have been responsible. Crocodiles and other killers live here in abundance, but the locals are convinced that the size and number of bite marks couldn't have been the work of these usual suspects.
So could those original accounts have been correct? Could there be a pack-hunting fish similar to a piranha living in southern Africa? It sounds hard to believe, but I've heard equally fantastical stories in the past that have turned out to be true.
Like a man swallowed whole by a giant fish. A bus crash where passengers were devoured by piranhas. And fishermen having their genitals mutilated by an underwater hunter. So even though I've caught my share of monsters in Africa, I've never come across a piranha-style killer. But I have learnt that fishermen's tales shouldn't be ignored. So I'm off to investigate a river system that's said to be the home of this killer, to see if I can figure out what it is, and then catch it. But I've never been in this region before, so I'm not sure what to expect.
I'm in the Okavango Delta in southern Africa, where I'm hoping to come face to face with the river monster that mutilated the people on that ferry. This place is known as the Jewel of the Kalahari. It's a miraculous oasis of life in the midst of one of the world's harshest deserts.
Each year, the rains in Angola flow down through Namibia, eventually flooding nearly 6,000 square miles of land with over 380 billion cubic feet of water, creating the Okavango Delta. Over a period of months, it slowly recedes, but the water that remains attracts life from miles around. It's also the focus of human activity, and where humans and animals are forced together, conflict is inevitable. Out on the water for the first time, it's unfamiliar territory to me. A claustrophobic labyrinth of channels. I could easily lose my way around here. I begin my investigation by trying to connect with the locals, to find out what they know about the river's dangerous occupants. I stop to chat with a group of reed collectors, and they mention a familiar selection of suspects.
So it's the crocodiles and the hippopotamuses in the water.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Yeah. And this is really, it's the same story you get in lots of other parts of Africa. The water is dangerous, and the thing you just hear over and over again, it's crocodiles, hippopotamuses.
As these two killers are so brutal and visible, people just assume they are the culprits in every unexplained death on the water. But I think it's possible there is a pack-hunting killer fish down there, responsible for some of these brutal deaths, including the ferry victims. I hook up with some fishermen to see what they're catching.
It's very clear. This is a very rich water. Lots of these things in here, tilapia. This is the staple food source for sub-Saharan Africa in terms of fish. And there are lots of them. They're nice fish, but nice looking fish, but also very tasty. But I think I can bet that it's not only people that are going to be enjoying these. There's going to be other fish in here as well with teeth feeding on these. This water is bound to have predators in.
I ask if there's anything that fits the description of a toothy pack hunter, and they tell me to find an English-speaking fisherman named Clifford who was attacked by a fish.
The fish wriggled. I tried to grab the fish, but I hit it in the teeth with my hand, and it closed up.
And is this the mark here?
Yes.
Wow.
So I had 14 stitches. My thumb is no longer functioning.
So what is the name of this fish that bit you?
Ngwesh.
Ngwesh. And this is the thing with fish names, and the reason we have scientific names is that everybody knows what everybody's talking about. This is not a name I've heard before. It's clearly a predator. It's toothy. I'm actually quite used to seeing piranha bites on fishermen in the Amazon, and you're normally talking there something small, something maybe at the most an inch across. This is, we're talking 2.5, 3 inches across, and it's got a sort of almost a sort of a triangular profile, but to inflict a wound like that, it's got to have very, very sharp teeth. And this was a couple of years ago, and it's just left a permanent scar. Can you describe the fish that did this? What does it look like? What's the mouth like? What is the body like?
It's a long fish with sharp teeth and with stripes. The teeth, they are closed.
They interlock. Are there a lot of them in the water here? Is it something you see very much?
During the month of January, February, the water is clear. You see schools of them, lots of them.
So the pictures that it's emerging is not a solitary hunter. This is something that lives in packs. Clifford described the way the teeth work, they interlock. That's quite piranha-like. The fact that they're in packs, that's also quite piranha-like, but this is the wrong continent, and to my knowledge there's nothing piranha-like in Africa, but this actually sounds something very similar, but possibly something even more dramatic, because the fish are bigger. The individuals can inflict more vicious wounds.
If this Ngwesh is a toothy piranha-style pack killer, then it could be the monster at the heart of that ferry incident. I need to figure out what it is, and to do that, I need to catch one.
I'm after a predator, a meat eater, so I've got a piece of steak here, quite bloody, the kind of thing that piranhas would tear to shreds. So quite a big hook, and because what I'm after has probably got teeth, I'm not using just line next to the hook because that would just be sliced through. This is wire. This is like 80, 90 pound breaking strain wire.
Within seconds of my bait hitting the water, it's getting some interest. Could could I already have hooked the river monster of the Okavango?
Fish on! This is a strong fish. Glimpse of that, glimpse of that. I think it's some kind of catfish. Wow. Ah! It's clamping down, it's clamping down.
It's a sharp-toothed catfish, and it's got some powerful jaws.
Ah! That's the hook out, which is nice. So this is a very voracious, meat-eating predator. There are teeth in there. They drew blood on my hands, but they're small teeth. These could certainly make short work of a human corpse, but the look of that corpse, it would be very different from a body that's been bitten. So this is actually not what I'm after, and that's quite a thought. There's something else down here, which is even more fearsome than this.
I head back to the village. I need some more local knowledge if I'm going to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Can you just tell me how much?
People tell me the ungwesh is difficult and dangerous to catch. But once again, it's the large, visible predators they talk about most. And when you see injuries like these, you can understand why.
Can you tell me what it was that happened to you? So these are injuries caused by crocodiles. Both mother and daughter were in the water collecting water lily bulbs. A crocodile under the water, unseen, grabbed the daughter's left hand. Daughter obviously cries out. Mother comes to help and actually attacked the crocodile with the sickle. The crocodile let go of the daughter, went away just a few yards, but then came back and grabbed daughter's other arm, broke that, and then went after the mother and grabbed one of her arms. The crocodile actually had the mother's arm, was feeding on this, and then the mother was able to, with her remaining arm, gather her daughter and take her where they were safe. I have to say that hearing how dangerous crocodiles are is one thing, but actually seeing the evidence really underlines for me just how potentially dangerous these waters are.
But the villagers believe there is a man here who can help protect them. The witch doctor. He doesn't look as I expected, but I'm told he's a very powerful healer with an extensive knowledge of the fish in these waters, as some of them have dark powers that affect his medicine.
He's listed 4 fish, something called the mpakibitu, nyeru, tuni, which I think is also known as the barbel or the catfish, and then here again is this fish called the ngwesh. So do different fish have different powers?
So
the mpakibitu, if he eats this fish, it undoes any good effect that he's trying to bring about. And the catfish is somewhat more dramatic. He said if he eats catfish and somebody comes to him who's ill, that person will die slowly, bleeding from the ears. So the ngwesh is the most powerful fish. If he has eaten the ngwesh, he says the illness will multiply. It will become much stronger than it was in the first place. And for this reason, he doesn't eat ngwesh, he doesn't even touch it, he doesn't even allow it inside his compound. I know you don't touch them, but is there any fishermen in the village, anybody here who could show me one? Okay, so he says his daughter not in here, but if I go outside, his daughter has got something that she can show me.
His daughter brings me what she calls the ngwesh, but it's not quite what I was hoping for.
So these are the teeth of the ngwesh. I'll tell you what struck me first of all. It wasn't so much this; it was his reaction. He visibly backed away. I mean, it's not just talk. These are definitely, powerful in his belief. Didn't want to be anywhere near them. They look almost shark-like, these teeth. They've sort of crumbled a little bit, but I can tell that they are very, very sharp. But I'm still no nearer visualizing what the entire creature is like.
It's a tangible clue, though. And that evening, as I watch the villagers prepare for a blessing ceremony, I feel I'm getting closer to revealing its identity. But when the witch doctor reappears, unrecognizable in his ceremonial attire, I realize I'm a long way from understanding this place. He seems to exist on the cusp of another world, and within minutes, he's worked the women into a frenzy.
Talk about a transformation, a serious man I was talking to, and then just suddenly this dancing just ball of energy, incredible.
The witch doctor's transformation is not the only surprise of the evening. The ladies bring out their baskets, which they use for fishing in the shallows. But they also ask me to bring out my fishing rod.
So I sit here? Okay.
Suddenly, I'm at the center of their ritual.
Dragged into the middle of proceedings here. The women are actually getting their fishing baskets blessed. And I've sort of been snuck into their number, maybe to give me a little bit of protection, good fortune in my quest to find out about this fish, the ngwesh.
They seem to feel that if I'm going after the ngwesh, that I'm going to need all the help I can get. Something changes in me, though, and soon I'm swept up in the ceremony, dancing beside them in a way that not even I recognize. Then, as quickly as it started, the ceremony ends.
I can't say that I totally followed everything that was going on there, but essentially the women were given blessing and protection for their basket fishing, and the fact that I was included in that means that I now have some degree of protection in this unfamiliar environment for me. So what I've got to go and do now is look beneath the surface of the aquatic life here and lay my hands on this creature that I'm looking for.
The next morning, I go with the women basket fishing. I find it's often by integrating yourself within the community that the best information comes out.
Any fish? While I'm doing this, looking for fish, concentrating on what's in the basket, I'm very aware that around me you've got water lilies, and this is exactly what the mother and daughter were collecting when they were attacked by the crocodile. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've two fish. Two fish? Yeah. You have some? Oh, yeah, one, nothing, 1, 2. I'm in the lead so far. How many? No, 2. No, 4, 3, 4. I think I have the biggest one. I've got the biggest one here.
This process is a great opportunity to see more of the fish that make up the food chain here in the Okavango and a prey for larger predators.
That's a river monster. Very small fish coming out, mostly a couple of inches, 2-3 inches, but quite a few of them. But they're all hiding in this quite thick vegetation where they think they're safe until they're herded out into what they think is going to be open water, but there's baskets in the way. have to say, it's very nice to get back to the basics of fishing. Probably this kind of fishing has been going on for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and you're talking about just simple materials and a bit of human cooperation and ingenuity. And there we are, there's the fish. Where do I... Oh, it nearly got away, nearly got away.
From reed collectors and the witch doctor's blessing to these ladies using papyrus baskets, fishing and its many elements are an ancient and all-consuming way of life here.
It's actually an impressive catch. There's lots of different types of fish there. They're not big, but there are lots of them, lots of fish. But the women are saying that sometimes around here it's possible to find large concentrations of big fish, very big fish, the water just full of fish. They say that doesn't happen very often, it's hard to find, but the way that I can find that is to look for the birds. The birds, the water birds, will tell me where they are.
This is what I was hoping for. A little piece of inside information which could lead me to the killer fish that prowl these waters. So I head out, scanning the horizon for birds. And after a few hours, I find what I'm looking for.
There seems to be some excitement. Some of the birds seem to be quite excited behind these reeds here. So we're just going to see if we can go round into this bit of a backwater and just see what's causing that.
These must be the water birds that the ladies spoke of, but I can't quite get to where they are.
Very frustrating. You can't see what's going on, but there's every now and again there's a loud sort of slapping, popping sound. And I think there's something very dramatic going on under the water, but I just can't get to it.
I try to force my way into the reeds to see if I can glimpse what's causing this commotion.
Bubbles in the water. These reeds are shaking. Some quite large animals under the water making these reeds really shake.
Could this be a pack of river monsters at work?
There's some of these lilies shaking, and there's a few leftover birds, but there's a sense that the action has just moved on. It's very frustrating. I got to the edge of it. I saw the shaking weeds. I couldn't really see what was responsible, but there's something under the water. It just appeared like a large collection of predatory creatures in the water, but they move. They're very elusive. Very mysterious, very frustrating. I really want to get to the bottom of this.
Unfortunately, the reeds are too dense to follow the action. Then I realise I'm not alone.
So there's people in here as well. They obviously know what's going on, or certainly have a better idea than I do. But she's just disappeared in a very thin channel there between the weeds. I don't think there's any way in this I'm going to go after. But some sort of secret things going on here that I would really like to know more about.
The next day, I'm privileged to join a 71-year-old village elder named Duba. He spent his life on these waters. I'm hoping he can help me unlock the secrets of this reed-filled labyrinth and find the killer fish at its heart. Duba is one of the last San River Bushmen, some of the most ancient people on Earth. They have fished these eerie backwaters for thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, and own the traditional fishing rights. So it's only with Duba's permission that I'm allowed to be here. And without his help, I would never find my way out. We enter a place known as Three Spot Lagoon. Apparently very few people fish here. I'm intrigued to know why.
Duba, can you tell me what's different about this place? What happens here?
Ke go bewa hela mautu a hae a bana mo metsi thogo a hae be e tshelelwa ka mo hela be te go sala.
So the significance of this place is that traditionally this is where the dead were taken. They were buried up to their necks.
Unlike most burials, here the bodies are buried standing upright. It's a strange tradition from my Western perspective, but then everything here seems to have a dark twist to it.
The rains would come, the rains would then go away, and the body would be gone, and the people would be transformed into papyrus plants.
They believe these floating spirit papyrus protect the lagoons, moving independently against the current to close the channels and trap intruders inside the labyrinth.
So if you come here without permission, what happens is that either you're going to find the way into the lagoon blocked by papyrus, you can't get in, you're physically kept out. If you insist on pushing your way through, the papyrus will close behind you and you'll never find your way out. All that will be found eventually is just your empty canoe. Duba, I've been hearing about a fish called ngwesh. Is this a particularly dangerous fish?
Hey, yana how you tshwara ka bothale o thantula sente le tua go ngwe tshwarela mo tlogela thogo ka ha le meno.
The ngwesh is a fish that is it's very toothy. It's got teeth a bit like a crocodile, very sharp. From my point of view, fishing for them, trying to find them. I've established that this place is a sacred place, a haunted place if you like. But what that also means is it's got a degree of protection. People don't normally come here. So I think while I'm here and while I'm sort of authorised to be here, I could do a lot worse than just put a lure through the water and see if there is anything down there.
In this lagoon, I'm trying a small fishing lure. If the ngwesh is a pack hunter, like the piranha, then a disturbance near the surface is what it might go for.
That's a fish. Whoa! This fish took almost under the rod tip. An indication of how voracious the fish are in this water. I mean, I've got about 4 feet of line out there. I was just about to lift it out of the water, and it grabbed it. And I'm just letting it tire out a bit. I mean, the chances are it's got teeth if it went for that spoon, so I've got bare feet in here. I want it a little bit tired before I try and swing it in the boat. Aye. Beautiful little fish, very toothy. This is actually an African pike, sort of mottled green. The colour's actually wrong, I think, for what I've been hearing about, but if I just compare the teeth with what I was given by the witch doctor, actually the teeth are very different, very different. So, I mean, quite a nice toothy fish to catch this, but I think we can rule this off the suspects list.
So the hunt for the mutilator of the ferry victims continues.
Nice looking fish, but it's not the one I'm after.
I'm working my way through the food chain, but nothing yet matches the description of the ngwesh. We fish a couple more spots, but it's strangely quiet. The heat is intense, and as we move through the lagoon, we approach some of the floating reeds that Duba believes protect these waters.
This looks like a normal papyrus clump to me, but I don't know, this place, and in the hot sun as well, a long day, if you're lost, you know, your mind possibly starts playing tricks. Or maybe it's not playing tricks, maybe there is more going on under the surface than we're aware of.
It's a maze of small channels and inlets, and as we near the lagoon's exit, I spot something unusual in the water.
It's an old canoe here, just upturned by the side of the canal. I've been hearing all these stories about how this is not a good place to come to if you don't have permission, and I have to admit it is quite a spooky place. It's quite easy to dismiss those stories, and then you come across a canoe with no occupant. It just adds to that general air of spookiness. You wonder what happened to the owner of this canoe.
With my suspect list narrowing, I head out again into the main channel, keeping my eye out for flocks of birds. I decide to target a different part of the water column as I systematically zero in on the mystery fish locals call the ngwesh.
Well, this is quite a weighted, heavy lure, head to it there. The idea of this is it goes down to the bottom, which tends to be where the larger fish might be lying. It's got a very enticing sort of wiggly action, and it's just the kind of thing that's going to entice a predatory strike. Let it hit the water, let it sink down, maybe 8 to 10 feet, and then just twitch it. Oh, that was something. Twitch, twitch. And it's got these trailing sort of tendrils, and it's got this rubbery body and a little rattle as well. And I think if you're a predator, you see a movement, you bite first and you ask questions later. Let it sink, sink, let it sink, let it sink. Twitch, 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 twitch. Oh, I thought I felt something there. And twitch, and again. Oh, twitch. Yeah. Hey! Wow. I think I've just seen what the Ingwesh is. Oh, look at that! Look at that! It goes about 4 feet out of the water. The line sounding like it's in pain, slicing the water. Long and silvery horizontal stripes.
Is this the pack hunting killer fish I've been searching for?
I think this might actually be the Ingwesh. From everything I've heard, it definitely fits the description. Streamlined fish, silvery colour, horizontal black stripes, and unmistakable, large, sharp, interlocking teeth. And, well, I actually recognise this as a tigerfish. This definitely looks like it's been doing a bit of hunting. That body, although elongated, is quite, it's very full. It's been feeding. And then those teeth, I mean, that is the tooth the witch doctor showed me. I think we've got a positive ID now on this fish for sure.
So I've matched the teeth from the witch doctor and identified the Ingwesh. But is it really a fish that attacks in frenzied packs, like the piranha? I've caught a tigerfish before, the Goliath tigerfish of the Congo.
There we go.
That fish has the size to be a killer.
What a freshwater monster this thing is.
But it works alone. The one I'm after hunts in packs and can potentially bring down several large targets at once. The type of tigerfish I just caught is a relative of the piranha, but it can grow to over 3 feet long, and its average weight is more than 10 times that of a red-bellied piranha. So imagine hordes of these tearing at your flesh. A voracious pack of teeth that, if my hunch is right, could easily have disposed of the ferry victims. But catching one tigerfish doesn't close this case.
Today I caught a fish which I think could be my culprit, the tigerfish. Now, normally tigerfish are considered to be solitary hunters, but although we are thousands of miles away from the Amazon, this is a fish which in fact is related to piranhas. So the stories of them occasionally operating as pack hunters might not be totally out of the question. What I've got to do though, to prove the case, is to see evidence of that for myself.
To find out more about this type of tigerfish, I meet up with a man who has years of experience catching them. A fishing guide named Yuri Jansen.
People talk a lot about tigerfish being very aggressive. How dangerous do you think they are to people in this river?
The potential is there. We're dealing with a species that is, without a doubt, the most aggressive freshwater species in Africa and possibly worldwide. It's just such an aggressive fish. particularly during the feeding frenzies associated with the catfish run, when tigers get together and shoal and actually feed as a unit rather than individually.
This sounds like the lead I'm after, a spectacular phenomenon that occurs at one specific time of the year here in the Delta, that Yuri believes incites the tigerfish to hunt in packs. It's called the catfish or barbel run, and it occurs when thousands of catfish prey on millions of baitfish. This hunt in turn attracts packs of tigerfish to feed in a predatory frenzy. Maybe this is what was happening in the reeds.
As soon as that noise starts and that the commotion, the splashing and the sucking motion of the catfish and all the jumping baitfish, the tigers are there in seconds. They go into a feeding frenzy with that mouth open and they just chomp. You see bits of fish being thrown up in the air. It's the most brutal thing you'll ever witness from a freshwater species. Tigers naturally are attracted to any activity, whether it be a struggling animal or a struggling human being.
And have you heard any specific stories that illustrate that?
There is one that stands out. One particular incident in a river in South Africa.
At the height of summer, an off-duty game ranger decided to take a quick dip in the river to cool off. A risky decision, even if he thought the area was croc-free. But crocodiles are not the only predators in this water.
Brutally mauled all around the groin area. The nature of the wounds suggested it was a large tigerfish. He almost bled to death. It just shows the ferocity of the tigerfish, attracted to any kind of movement in water and attacking things that may not resemble their prey.
So another example of a tigerfish attacking a human in open water, but it's still hunting alone. However, these accounts of them feeding in frenzies during the catfish run could be the proof I need that they do work in packs. If I can find a run, my hope is that packs of tigerfish will be going after it. And if they are, it will prove my theory that these toothy killers could be capable of mutilating a boatload of people.
I've been looking for birds, and I've certainly found birds, but these are agitated not because of the presence of anything going on in the water, but there's a snake slithering its way in the direction of their nesting holes.
I take advantage of one of the few high points in the delta and follow the snake up to gain a better perspective of how the barbel run works.
For about half the year, all of that, which you could now walk across, although you wouldn't want to, becomes flooded. It's about chest deep in water, and it's full of small fish. Now, as that water drains, all those small fish come closer and closer, and eventually they come out into the main water channel. And this is where the barbel, the catfish, lie in ambush, and they feast on those small fish.
I head back out, scanning the water for the bird activity that could signal tigerfish on the prowl. But finding a run is not proving to be that easy. It's a natural phenomenon that can appear and then disappear with no apparent warning. After a day on the water with no sign of it, I'm at a loss. So I meet up with ichthyologist John Minshall, an authority on the fish of southern Africa, to see if he can give me any further insights into the nature of the tigerfish.
From your knowledge of tigerfish, is their ferocious reputation deserved?
I would say so, yes. They are killing machines, rather like a shark in the sea. They will attack moving objects in the water. They are ferocious fish. They will go for larger animals that happen to have drowned in the lake. I saw a carcass rocking and rolling, you might say, of a buffalo on the side of the bank, half immersed in water. And there were barbara trying to pull off meat, and there were tigerfish. You could see the tigers going in and hitting the carcass. And I wouldn't like to be in the water when that happens, because it's piranha style.
This sounds like what happened to the ferry victims. The case is building. What about if you're bathing in the side of the river, washing pots and pans, this kind of thing? Are you at risk from them?
Well, the only time that I've ever experienced anything of that, a youngster had a crucifix around his neck. And while he was swimming, the tigerfish spotted this moving silver object, thought it was a fish, and it attacked. He let out a scream, and it was just bleeding from the chest. And it actually sliced his chest open. And he bled like a stuck pig and was taken to hospital.
This incident of the man with the crucifix around his neck reminds me of a story I heard in the Congo about a Goliath tigerfish. A young girl was bathing in the water and the fish was attracted by a belt of shiny bottle caps around her waist. The Goliath tigerfish attacked, and the little girl was practically bitten in half. So it appears that the tigerfish in this region has the same reflex to flash and splashing vibration in the water, and on top of that is every bit as aggressive. And if they really do hunt in packs, their lethal potential is multiplied. As I'm not finding anything at water level, I decide to search for the predatory fish from above.
What I'm looking for is concentrations of birds, because people have told me that is where the predators are going to be.
Flocks of birds typically feed on the bait fish that trigger the run. I'm counting on them to lead me to the action.
Yes, I can see them. I can see the birds. That is where I've got to put my line.
My hope is that, like the birds, packs of tigerfish will be going after the barbel catfish run. This will prove my theory that these toothy killers do hunt together and could be capable of mutilating a boatload of people.
Well, here are the birds, but they're not actually doing anything at the moment. It's like they're waiting for something. It's like they can sense something that I can't. It's actually quite spooky. Something's going to happen. It's not happening yet.
Then, seemingly out of nowhere, the catfish start arriving. An army of them, schooling together to herd thousands of baitfish out of the reeds into open water, where the catfish can feed on them. This is the rare freshwater spectacle I've been hearing about, what I've spent so long searching for. But I'm not here as a spectator.
Yeah.
There are hundreds, if not thousands of these. This is what the barbel run is all about. Oh. Catfish, lots of them. But the catfish aren't what I'm after. I've been told that all this commotion will draw in the second wave of predators, the tigerfish. And before long, I'm witnessing a real feeding frenzy. This is just incredible. The amount of activity is just incredible. This is a real phenomenon. Right, gosh. Ah! There are fish there, just holding their open mouths out of the water, presumably just treading water with their tails, and they're just waiting, and the bait fish are flying in the air, so presumably they're just waiting for the fish to land in their mouths. Absolutely incredible.
The water is just so full of fish, and just in your ears as well. The sound, it's like the water doesn't just look like it's boiling, it sounds like it. And I've just never seen anything like this before. To see such a sight in fresh water, it's really incredible.
I need to get a bait back in the water, into the middle of this carnage, to finally prove that tigerfish are here hunting in packs.
Fish on.
There it is again.
It looks like I'm finally in the eye of the storm. This is not carnage going on behind the reeds or in some sort of marsh where I can't see it. This is right at the river's edge, and the predator's just hammering into the bait fish. And my lure, when it goes in there as well, is getting the same treatment.
I'm hooking one tigerfish after another. This is the proof I'm after.
Well, this is the fish, and the evidence is right behind me. It's in my ears. I mean, just the sound of the feeding frenzy is going on as I hold this fish. So this is not just a solitary hunter. There is a pack of them down there, filling the air with the sound of just frenzied predatory activity. People think piranhas are scary. Piranhas are just a few inches, maybe a pound, 2 pounds. But fish this size operating in a pack, pretty monstrous thought. The fact is, if you get a bait in the right place, just these things, one after the other, will just pile into it. And I think without doubt, this is a very likely candidate for what put paid to those people in the ferry. So we're not just talking a solitary animal down there, we are talking a pack, we're almost talking a superorganism. The biomass of these in a small volume of water is quite frightening. I mean, piranhas, in comparison, look quite puny. We've got a pack of these things down here.
I've heard first-hand accounts of their raw aggression. I've seen their brutal hardware. And by catching so many in quick succession, I've shown they most definitely hunt in packs. I'm left in no doubt that a frenzy of these mouths could easily have disposed of the ferry victims.
So I think by any definition at all, this thing is a real river monster.
It's the first time this species has ever been filmed. I've landed bigger river monsters, but none more rare.